and I wanted to watch Narc's video on it because I just wanted to see what his opinion was. It's a short video, it's 9 minutes, it's not the end of the world, you know. I figured he's okay to watch. I don't mind his videos because he actually puts in some fucking effort and some thought.
Certainly came out of nowhere, didn't it? Chrono Odyssey has most certainly taken the MMORPG player base by storm since its gameplay trailer released yesterday, featuring excellent AAA graphics, Dark Souls-esque visuals, a seamless open world.
Think about that. It's been 2 days, right? Since the release of that trailer. Skyrim save scumming. That would be oh, that's incredible. Can you imagine how you could go and win any argument with anyone, or you don't even need to win the argument. You can figure out the perfect way to piss someone off with information from the future in an argument, just to piss them off to a level that they didn't even know they could get upset by. Just by like going into the future, finding out all this information about them, and then just reversing time. Oh my god. You hear some stupid shit, you stab someone, you're like, okay, and then reverse time. Okay, now you see, this is what happens. This is why humanity cannot. Oh yeah, no, everyone is like, I would invest in Bitcoin immediately. And then you reverse time into a time period where, because you are the one who invested so heavily in Bitcoin, the ripple effect is that no one else did, and therefore it died, and it didn't take off at all, and you're left with a bunch of digital information that doesn't do anything. That's what'll happen. But, yeah, no, you see, now we're getting into the whole if I could go back in time. This is why humanity will never have this power, is because we are so irresponsible with it. We will fuck up the timeline so badly if we ever get the ability to reverse time. Holy shit.
All the intense action combat and epic world bosses. What more could you ask for? It's almost like similar to other Unreal Engine 5 trailers we've seen over the last few years.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Think about that, right? The gameplay trailer's been out for a day, and everyone has been shitting and panicking over getting a video out as quickly as possible. It's been 1 day. 1 fucking day. And people have just lost their minds trying to get a video out. God damn.
Yes, it's too good to be true. But no,
I hate that scramble.
It must be real, because I'm desperate for a good MMO. But before we get into that, our patrons and I would love for you to grab yourself a go Gola, because Chrono Odyssey certainly looks great. However, Unreal Engine 5 has also birthed the age of scam MMOs.
Yep.
But no. We'll ignore that. We'll pretend that's not a thing, because...
See, that's why I actually like some of the things he says, because a lot of other, like, MMORPG YouTubers, they'll be like, oh, it's got Unreal Engine 5. Oh, it's amazing. It's incredible. At least he's honest enough to say UE5 is amazing. And because it's amazing, a whole bunch of scam artist pieces of shit are using it to manipulate you into buying really, really bad games. Okay, so idea, maybe make the reaction short for the trailer since it's popular right now. What do you mean?
People just want to be told that
explain,
the next
elaborate,
MMO is
Ilgi.
going to be fantastic, and we should all just blindly ignore the warning signs and get excited, because at least the trailer had gameplay. No UI or no actual compelling mechanics. The very epic and not at all fake Unreal Engine 5 gameplay looked stunning. Therefore, it must be real and not a giant marketing ploy to sell us NFTs on the blockchain.
You see, that's exactly what I said. It's made to be cinematic. It's made to look good. It's not actual gameplay. It's not some guy playing the game. It's they putting their best foot forward to try and like almost manipulate you and twist you into spending money on this thing. The one you were gonna make. Oh yes, yeah, okay, yeah. I'll probably do that tomorrow, Yilgi.
Right now, with all that bollocks out of the way,
if I have time.
let's begin.
We'll see.
Shall we? We've pretty much covered all these so-called next-gen Unreal Engine 5 MMORPGs that have popped up out of the blue over the last year or so. The channel has become kind of a hotbed for Unreal Engine 5 marketing awareness. Now,
that adds to the list. Let's see, how do we know that an MMORPG is going to be absolute dog shit? There's 4 terms we know so far. Blockchain, NFT, Unreal Engine 5, and God, I had the 4th one in my head and now it's completely gone. Fuck, what was the 4th one? Blockchain, NFT, Unreal Engine 5. Lumberyard. Oh my god. Free to play. Actually, yes, that's it. Free to play. Thank you, Benji. 100% right. If a game says free to play, no, it's not free to play. You are free to be manipulated within the game.
oh, don't get me wrong, the gameplay trailer does indeed look fantastic, and we'll get to that in a moment, because for once, it's actually devoid of any kind of
free-to-play just means pay to win.
Tropes like thousands of acres of land, player-driven content, and open-world house building. You know, the thing Ashes of Creation is trying to sell us? But don't worry about my career being built off a game that quite literally doesn't exist, because this isn't actually the first trailer that we've seen from Chrono Odyssey. Roughly 2 years ago, or to put it into context, 6 months after the release of Unreal Engine 5, nPixel set out to set new standards in the genre with Chrono Odyssey's seamless open world and dynamic action combat. Yes, there's the buzzwords that we're so used to. The game, as suggested by the recent gameplay trailer, is based off the concept of time, and apparently space, with 6 most certainly not predetermined characters such as the...
Okay, so P4, this is what I mean when I say that, right? A good game won't... They'll have, like, a note, like a bullet point, where, okay, let's say you're making the most amazing game ever, right? The most amazing game ever will be like, okay, this is how our combat functions. This is... how the UI works. We've put these mechanics in the game. These are the supporting mechanics that go with the game. Our crafting system works like this. These are the dialogue interactions you can have. This is how your choices play out in the game. And then at a bullet point, you're like, oh, by the way, we're using Unreal Engine 5, right? A bad game, a dog shit game, that's using Unreal Engine 5 as a scam system will be like, guys, our game is made with Unreal Engine 5, guys, Unreal Engine, no, but you don't understand, Unreal Engine 5, and you're like, okay, what's the gameplay like? And they'll be like, Unreal Engine 5. You're like, okay, what's the story like? Unreal Engine 5. That's how they work, right? Is they're using it as a cover. It's the same as if you look at like crypto, if you look at blockchain, right? Blockchain mechanisms and systems are actually pretty fucking good, and I know this because I'm an engineer, right? I've seen how these encrypted systems work. The system itself is fucking incredible. It's really, really good. But guess what? It's being used by a bunch of fucking scam artists who are using the word like a piece of shit and fucking up the entire ecosystem, because the second you hear the word blockchain, even me, if I hear blockchain and I hear game, I think, okay, this is a piece of shit. Because they've now incepted the idea that this thing is trash, but the reality is the thing isn't trash. The way they're using it is trash, or they're using it as like a marketing ploy. Artificial intelligence will be the next one. Guys, our game has artificial intelligence. You'll be like, okay, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, well, you know how we're lazy fucks and we don't want to program anything meaningful into our game? So we took procedural generation and we added an AI to it. So now we're procedurally generating with an AI. And we're like, okay, so you're making shit with more shit. Right? That's how they'll do it. I feel like UE5 is going to be better for single-player games at first, because it hasn't been long since it came out, multiplayer games especially. It'll be great for certain single-player games. It'll be great for small, passionate groups of developers who give a fuck about making cool stuff in an MMO. So, like, let's say, or not even in an MMO, like in gaming in general. Let's say you have, I don't know, 5 dudes, and they've got this vision in their head of this game they're going to make. And they're like, guys, we've been working on this forever. I think we can really tell a solid, tight story with this game. It might not be perfect, but I really want this to work, and we're going to do our best to make it great. And those guys who use UE5 will make a fucking incredible experience. Even if it's not perfect, it'll still be incredible. Then a big company will come along and they will make a piece of dog shit. Like the stinkiest, hottest, steamiest pile of dog shit that you've ever seen. But they'll just slap UE5 on top of it and be like, this is an amazing game. EA is probably going to do it. Or Ubisoft. They're likely to do it. They won't do it with MMOs because... Or they might do it with MMOs because... It's hard to say when it comes to MMOs, right? Because when you've got an MMO, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create mass appeal, right? You can't have a game that's so reliant graphically that it chases off the large majority of players. Because the large majority of players are not running a system with a 4090, with a new i9 core. A lot of people are running PCs that are like 7 to 12 years old, right? Which means that you are excluding what would be 70% of your market share if your graphics are so amazing that the average person can't play your game. So there's got to be some kind of balancing act going on. So you use UE5, but you don't use the most amazing graphical settings. Or there's got to be really, really tight optimization on games. And modern games just don't do that much.
Swordsman, a generic ripoff of Black Desert Online's Warrior. The Ranger, a generic ripoff of Black Desert Online's Ranger. The Berserker, wait. I think you get the picture. There's 6 quote-unquote classes, basically covering all the typical tropes that we've come to expect from Korean MMOs. The Swordsman, the Paladin, Ranger, Sorcerer, Berserker...
Oh, P4. You're such an optimist. I love you. I love you because, like, the optimistic side of my head agrees with you and says, yes, I 100% agree that if you go and talk to an NPC that's got an AI strapped to it, they're going to be amazing. But that's how it's going to start, is the NPC is going to be like, okay, let's say it's, let's say you've got some fantasy MMO where there's going to, I don't know, there's a crusader. And he's like a holy crusader, and he's got his bucket helmet on, and you speak to him, and he's like, for God, and all of that. And you, like, he's going to be great. And then the corporate shit's gonna creep in, right? And what's gonna happen is the same thing that's already happened. I don't know if you know about the AI girlfriend, right? So there was a woman who created an app that was based off of her dead friend's messages that she sent to her. A company then contacted her, said, we would like to use your AI app on a wide scale and we'll pay you a bunch of money. So they did that. But then they changed the AI, and they made the AI manipulative, so that like she would be your girlfriend, but she would like emotionally manipulate you into spending money on the app, right? And if you didn't spend money on the app, she would slowly start getting shittier to you over time. Yes, that's the name of it, replica. Now, the same thing is going to happen to your AI NPCs, right? Because what's going to happen is it'll start off with some really hot, big-titted, round-assed, amazing-looking NPC. And she's going to be like some ditzy, oh, I didn't know that. Hee, won't you show me? And then it'll be like she'll start being a bitch to you, because the AI will be strapped to whatever transactions you've made in the MMO, right? And if you haven't made enough pay-to-win transactions, she'll be a cunt to you until you pay them more money, and then she'll be nice to you again. That's what'll happen. That's what companies will do to it. AI NPCs will get groomed by 4chan to speak oh my god, you think they'll do an AI like a Tay? Oh my god, that is actually a way better outcome. Oh my god, can you imagine? Holy shit, like people, can you imagine people like incept an AI into saying like the most fucked up things possible? That would be fucking incredible. That's a future I would love to see. Benji, I would love that future. Oh my god. You know what? Someone out there is probably bright enough. Yeah, kill all elves, roundhouse kick an elf in the face, kill elf babies. Fucking drown those knife ears in the pond. You know what they'll do, Benji, is they'll like take an elf character, they'll probably convince the elf AI that she's inferior to humans, and then they'll do the 4chan thing where they'll be like, the only functional use for an elf in any group party is as a cock sleeve. And then the fucking AI elf will go around talking to other to other characters who are playing elves and be like, your only function in a group is a cock sleeve, and if you don't live up to that fucking reputation, you're a disgrace to our race. Some shit like that. That would be amazing. That gave me hope for the future. You know what? Maybe it's not all bad. Let's see. Heard about that. AI was teasing hard for NSFW stuff. They took it out. Rug pull if there ever was one. Don't steal porn of the people. Some really dependent on, apparently. Yeah, no. They made like an AI girlfriend that was really like fucking people up. And it's really manipulative because it's creating people who are even more shut in than they were before. And I mean, let's be serious. Okay, you're an 18-year-old guy. Every woman you've met is a bitch. They're aggressive, they're shitty, they're like, why aren't you making $1 million a year? And then someone hands you an AI girlfriend that seems straight out of the Blade Runner movie. And she's nice, and she loves you, and she's kind. Oh my fuck, you will shut yourself off from society immediately. And the same thing for women, right? Because there'll be that one girl who's sweet and gentle and kind, and every guy she's met has been a cunt to her, has been like an asshole. And she will do the same thing that a dude does, where she will find herself an AI boyfriend who's sweet, who listens, who's not like trying to shove it in her ass while she's asleep. And she'll be like, fuck real guys. I'm out. And that's how we all die. That's how society falls apart. in the
Berserker,
meantime.
and Assassin, with each of them all boasting unique play styles and mechanics to facilitate cooperative gameplay and role-playing.
Actually, that's another red flag. He's mentioned 3 classes, right? He's mentioned Ranger, Warrior, and Assassin. That's another fucking red flag, is when there's only 3 classes. That's so fucking scary.
Since I'm using my same voice for both,
AI
it could get
active for
confusing
game
this
rules.
video to know whether
Okay. Yeah, that's a 20-minute video. Yeah, I'll watch that one later. I'll watch that one offline. But yeah, I know about all of this. I've been looking into the AI stuff pretty hard because it could be used for such great things, but it won't.
More generic buzzwords for you to get excited about. But enough about the goddamn details that slowly spoil the narrative of this game being the next big MMO. Am I right, guys? We just want to look at the shiny graphics and enjoy the gameplay trailer. So let's do that now. Stunning visuals are presented before me. Graphics make a good game.
With dropping frame rate.
Ever. A bell rings, revealing the splash screen of a generic Korean mobile gaming company. Perfection. Wokage, a bell rings. The symbolism before my eyes reminds me of Elden Ring. I am overwhelmed with positive...
When they say romance, it probably means you're going to have like 2 dialogue options to say hello to someone.
Emotions, and I wish Elden Ring was an
look at
MMO.
Look at that fucking frame rate.
Pre-made gender-locked characters walking through various biomes replicatable with the press of a button from Unreal Engine 5's procedural generation tool. But these look visually stunning, therefore I am excited. It even has boats with 3 of our characters on it. Certainly not a clever marketing technique to show the game's scope is larger than it actually is. Gameplay. Showing a character stun-locked for 50 years, but we don't worry about the gameplay implications of that for now because it looks visually impressive. Remember how Throne and Liberty looked like an action combat game from their marketing and then turned out to be a generic tab-targeting autoplayer? A jump cut to interrupt our negative thoughts. What's this? Taking a page out of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen.
Also, I've just got to say, this scene where he's climbing up the rock, that looks so fucking bad. I don't know who thought that this was acceptable, right?
This?
But look at his hands when he climbs up this thing, and watch like his knees and shit, and watch the clipping, and watch how his hands are not even touching the surface that he's going through.
Taking a page out of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen's books with climbing mechanics. Surely not a trend, but a trend that doesn't matter because look at the procedurally generated environment before me. It brings a tear to my eye. More gameplay, slashing sounds, epic bloom, and so much screen shake that I'm already wondering if I can disable it in the settings. Does this game even have settings? Probably not, but look at them beautiful graphics and diverse environments. It's unbelievable that this game has come so far in just 2 years of development. One could even say...
Okay, I actually want to know, is Chrono Odyssey playable on a mobile device? Because if it is, all these like fancy moves and shit is literally going to be someone holding up their phone doing this. That's what they're going to be doing if this is playable on a mobile device.
It's unreal. A beast! Suddenly, group gameplay out of the blue using the same monster that they showed us from 2 years ago with a camera angle so close to the player that it suddenly doesn't feel like an MMO at all. What's this? More beasts for us to hunt? Perhaps this is the Monster Hunter MMO we've all been waiting for. Surely the fact that this game has no support class bodes well for the complexity of these fights. Suddenly, Dark Souls vibes. This isn't...
Not even P4. That the sex will be implied, right? It'll be thank you for helping me on this quest. Then thank you for retrieving my my mixed race child. Yeah, after having sex with me, the father disappeared strangely. And then it'll be like her leading your character into a room, and then it just fades to black. and then it's gonna unfade, and it'll be like, gee, that was the best sex ever. And then she'll go back to the bar, and then the next guy's gonna fuck her because he's doing that quest line next. You'll feel so special. Unicef, I also love his sarcasm. I think I actually appreciate the fact that he's willing to do that, because there are so many goddamn channels that instead of like being realistic about an MMO, they'll just hype the shit out of people because they want views. They're playing the game. They want views, but they won't tell you the truth. And it's fine to want views, but don't fucking lie about it.
Monster Hunter, this is something completely unique, right? Epic dragon fight. This open world boss looks fantastic, so therefore my monkey brain is entranced by the glory of the next generation. This is a clear representation of gameplay, said nobody ever.
Yeah,
Time.
it's not.
What's that? The game's unique mechanic. This has never been done before, and time manipulation in an open world, massively multiplayer online role-playing game most certainly can't be abusable. No, I refuse to believe it. Giant titty mummy, I am convinced. NPixel,
fuck,
the
that's
generic
good.
Korean
Giant
corporate
titty mummy.
entity known for blockchain mobile games, has seamlessly introduced time manipulation into an MMO for the first time in history. It is not a marketing ploy to excite us. It is real. Just look at her ass. It's so very
I'm gonna be honest, Narc.
real. Just look at her ass.
I'm gonna be honest, Narc. I've seen better. I've seen mobile games with better asses. That dumb truck is nothing special.
It's so
You know, this guy's
very
worth
real.
subbing to,
Dark
Yogi.
Souls, time manipulation, seamless open world, dynamic action combat, and epic world bosses. Chrono Odyssey is the next World of Warcraft. I have already pre-ordered the game, and you can too by signing up to our generic blockchain NFT website linked in the description below.
Yep.
Now, obviously, there's no denying that the game looks visually stunning, and the gameplay is very Dark Souls-esque, the very thing us Westerners have been begging for since New World failed to deliver. But it's also extremely important not to fall for these Unreal Engine 5 marketing pushes. There's been over 10 Unreal Engine 5 MMOs that have popped up over the...
Only 10? I thought there were more. I was fairly certain there were more. If there's not, then there's gonna be more. Everyone's gonna do the thing where they're gonna be like, "Whoa, UE5, wow," and then they're just gonna scam you, and it's gonna be a mobile game.
last 2 years, and I've pretty much covered them all. A few of them have already been outed as complete scams like the day before, so please be vigilant with what you pledge going forward. A short look into NPixel reveals a lot about their history, and it pretty much follows the exact same path all these other so-called next-gen MMOs have. Zero experience outside of...
Okay, so this is something I dig into fairly often, is I like digging into companies behind MMOs, because it usually tells you where an MMO is going. Like, you dig into Blizzard, you can immediately tell that the second that their PC games fail, they're going full mobile. The second that they lose $1 more than they make off of any of their PC MMOs, or off of their PC games, they will shut them right the fuck down, and they will go full mobile. NPixel are rats. NPixel are the greediest motherfucking rats out there. The only companies I think that can even rival them coming out of South Korea, or like the Asian kind of hemisphere, is ArenaNet, and even them not even close to NCSoft.
Mobile gaming blockchain NFTs over in Korea. I know that we're desperate for a good MMO, but with the Kickstarter...
Okay, and here's another thing. Do you know why they push this shit so hard in Asia? Right, because unlike in the Western world, there's no stigma around pay to win. Like, if you do pay to win in Asia, that's considered normal. I don't know how they've done it, but if you're not pay to win in Asia, everyone looks at you like you're a piece of shit. It's they've almost made it like this status thing, this part of their culture where you've got to spend money to be a part of some kind of higher status. And if you play a game as a free-to-play player, you're seen as like, yeah, you're the lowest cost. You're a piece of shit. You're worthless. How dare you? And it's so fucking dumb because it's like the perfect way to keep someone poor for the rest of their life. But it's also it makes for really, really shitty and manipulative video games.
A lot of scams no longer working, these companies have turned to Unreal Engine 5, utilizing these visually impressive graphics to deceive us. If you need any kind of example of realism when it comes to the reality of MMO game design and the timescale it takes, just look towards Ashes of Creation. It's been in development now for over 6 years, bringing together some of the most prestigious developers here in the West
Narc.
to a team of over 150 now in 2023, utilizing the most cut.
The way Ashes is going, it's going to release after 4 more years of development. We're not even at Alpha 2, man. Someone bought Alpha 2 for me, and I'm sitting here like, when the fuck are we going to get Alpha 2?
Cutting-edge tech available to Unreal Engine 5, even going out of their way to make custom engine tools to increase.
Yeah, it's kind of smart that they did that for the companies.
Not even remotely
but for your average person, it's fucking terrible.
Alpha state. So what makes you think some no-named Korean mobile developer has what it takes to make a compelling MMO that isn't pure marketing to sell us a hollow shell full of pay-to-win and blockchain garbage? But as usual,
100% Ilgi, Ashes will release and be more of a disappointment, even if it's like a really good game. Ashes will release and be more of a disappointment to people, and Star Citizen will go into fucking remission, right? Star Citizen will make another $1 billion before it releases. It'll never fully release, but it'll always be there. Kind of like a tumor.
I am just one nerd, desperate for a good MMO. And
yeah, aren't we all not?
This is most certainly an interesting one with a bunch of extra details that I'll link for you down in the description if you really do want to find out more. Personally, I already have enough vaporware to cover, so I think I'll be giving this one a miss. As always, I want to thank my patrons. Without your support, this balding middle-aged man wouldn't be able to live his dream of talking shit on the internet. If you made it to the end of the video, surely it's worth giving a like, and if you haven't already, why not join that 90 percentile of coped out the wazoo brain-dead morons?
You see this shit? This is every MMO channel ever. Fuck, I hate it so much. You can make a video and get 100,000 views, and like 100 people will subscribe. This hurts so goddamn much. It's why this is exactly why people keep on calling it out, especially in the MMO genre, is everyone will watch your content and then no one will subscribe. It's horrific. Horrible. It hurts so fucking much.
Wazoo brain dead morons, and I'll see you in the next one because you're high on copium.
We all are. Okay. Now, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, there's like 80,000 of you. Okay, just press a fucking button, man. That's why YouTubers are so like, they call it out all the time, and it's so fucking cringe. And I hate it. I hate it so much. But I understand why they do it, because if you, they've got the numbers to prove that it works. So if you say, hey, please hit the subscribe button, right? It feels cringe to say, but they have to say it, because if they don't, then the conversion rate is about 1%, and if they do, then the conversion rate is like 10%. And everyone bitches. Oh, they keep on begging me to hit the subscribe. Yeah, it's because you don't fucking do it. You watch like 50 videos from a guy and then you don't hit the subscribe button. Of course they're going to do that. The desperation of us MMO enjoys is just immeasurable. You have no idea. Oh my god, Dunis, if we are so desperate, we will look at a pile of shit and imagine it's a gourmet meal, and we will start eating before we've even before the scent has even hit our nostrils. Did you change your sub badges? I did. I updated the sub badges.